All right, welcome. In this module, we are going to tackle one of the most critical and, let's be honest, often painful processes for any general contractor: job revenue and billing reconciliation. Let's dive right in.
Look, if you're a general contractor, you know that gut-wrenching feeling. You have a job that felt super profitable, everything seemed on track, and then you close the books, and it's a loss. Where did the money go? That's what we call the job costing visibility gap, and it's a silent profit killer.
Well, today we're going to close that gap for good. We're going to build a smart assistant, an AI-powered analyst that plugs right into QuickBooks. We're going to turn hours, literally hours of manual spreadsheet work into just seconds of real actionable insight.
So, here's how we're going to do it. First, we'll walk through the manual WIP report nightmare. Then, we'll set up our automation engine, build our very own AI cost analyst, see it go from hours to instant insight, and finally, we'll talk about the real automation payoff. And this really just says it all, doesn't it? The old way, on the left, you're spending 2, maybe 3 hours a week manually exporting to Excel, praying you don't make a copy-paste error, and you're always looking at data that's already old. The new way? It's going to take us 30 seconds. A direct API connection means the data is 100% accurate and the insight is in real time. This is the massive change we're making today.
Okay, Section 1, the manual WIP report nightmare. So let's start by really digging into the problem, this visibility gap. The thing is, for contractors, the cash in your bank account is not the same as the profit on a job, right? Revenue you've recognized isn't cash you've collected, and neither of those things equals your actual costs. And it's in that disconnect that's where the profit just disappears. And a huge piece of this puzzle is retainage. You know what this is. It's that part of the payment that a client holds back until the job is totally done, just to make sure you finish everything. But you're probably holding it back from your subs too. Trying to track this whole web of money manually, it means running a bunch of different reports, like a profit and loss by job, and then trying to tape it all together. It's a mess. Okay, enough complaining about the old way. Let's start building the solution. Now here's the deal. Good automation always starts with a solid foundation. So before we even touch AI, we have to make sure QuickBooks is structured perfectly to give our automation the clean data it needs.
And that really comes down to these 4 key steps. First, you've got to have a clear customer job hierarchy. Simple, but crucial. Second, create detailed estimates for every job. These are your budgets. Third, and you absolutely cannot skip this, track every single cost to a specific job. No exceptions. And finally, you have to have the right account set up for retainage. Once that's all clean and tidy, we can make that one-time, totally secure connection between QuickBooks and our AI.
All right, Section 3. Now for the fun part. We're going to build our AI cost analyst. This is really where the magic happens. We're basically creating a little script, a virtual analyst, that's going to automatically ask QuickBooks all the right questions for us. So we'll kick things off by telling it to just pull all the transactions for any job that we've marked as in progress.
And this is what we're aiming for. Instead of all that clicking and exporting and formatting, our entire process is going to be triggered by a simple plain English question just like this. All the hard work, calculating cost to date, how much has been billed, where you stand on retainage, all of that is going to happen automatically right in the background. Now, let me give you a heads up. As you're building this, you might hit a little snag, an error. It's a super common gotcha, API permissions. And look, it almost always boils down to one of these 3 things. Either you didn't give Claude read-only access, you forgot to enable a specific data point it needs, or your security token just expired. Seriously, don't panic. It's almost always a quick fix. Just re-authenticate and you're good to go.
Okay, Section 4. From hours to instant insight. Our AI analyst is built. The logic is there. It knows how to connect to QuickBooks, pull the right data, and do all the math. It is time to see the payoff. Let's run this thing and watch hours of work just melt away into instant insight.
And there it is, a perfect work in progress, or WIP report, generated in literally seconds. Now let's just freeze on this for a second. The report is instantly telling us that across all of our active jobs, we are underbilled by more than $43,000. Think about that. That's money we've already earned for work we've already done that we just haven't sent an invoice for. That's cash that should be in our business, right now.
And it gets even better. Our little AI analyst kept digging and found $13,600 in approved change orders that were never billed. The work was approved, it was probably done, but the invoice just never got sent. That is pure profit that was just sitting there, completely invisible, until now.
So let's just be crystal clear about what just happened here. We took a 150-minute, error-prone manual task, and we turned it into a 30-second, 100% accurate automated report. And this isn't just about saving a couple of hours. This is about getting the visibility you need to protect your profit margins while you can still actually do something about it.
So what's the real automation payoff here? When you step back, what if we actually gained? Let's break it down.
You just have to look at this table. The change is, well, it's huge. We went from hours of work every week down to 30 seconds. We went from a high risk of human error to perfect source-level accuracy. But the biggest thing? We've gone from having key insights buried deep in raw data to getting proactive alerts that tell us exactly where the problems are. The impact on your profit is direct. You find and recover lost revenue, and you protect your margins on every single job going forward.
So that leaves us with one big question, right? We just found over $57,000 in a few seconds. What hidden profits could you unlock in your business with this kind of 30-second insight? In our next module, we're going to take this even further and automate subcontractor performance analysis. I'll see you there.